The rain hammered against the windows of our small apartment in Seattle, mirroring the storm brewing inside me. Tobias, a 43-year-old software engineer, had always considered myself a rational man, a man of logic and order. My life with my wife, Willow, was built on that same foundation, or so I thought. We'd been married for 15 years. 15 years of shared dreams, quiet evenings, and the comfortable rhythm of a life intertwined. We met at a coffee shop near the University of Washington, both glued to our laptops. I was working on a particularly frustrating piece of code. She was sketching furiously in a large notebook. I spilled my latte, she laughed, and that was it. A connection, immediate and undeniable. Willow was an artist, a sculptor. Her studio, a converted garage behind our apartment building, was her sanctuary. I admired her passion, her dedication to her craft. I supported her both emotionally and financially, even when sales were slow. I believed in her talent and her vision, but lately things had been off. Willow had become distant, preoccupied. She spent more time in her studio, often late into the night. When I asked her about it, she'd brush me off, saying she was working on a new commission, a big one. I wanted to believe her. I needed to believe her. The first crack in our foundation appeared innocently enough. Willow had left her phone on the kitchen counter. I wasn't snooping, I swear. I just saw the screen light up with a text message from an unknown number. Curiosity, that insidious little devil, got the better of me. I picked it up. The message was simple. "Thinking of you. Can't wait to see you tomorrow." My heart lurched. Who was this? Willow didn't have any close friends she texted regularly. We were each other's confidants. I told myself it was nothing, a wrong number, a harmless flirtation. But the seed of doubt had been planted. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. I started paying closer attention to Willow's behavior. Her phone was always within reach, even in the bathroom. She'd jump if I came too close when she was texting. She'd started locking her studio door, something she'd never done before. One evening, Willow told me she had a gallery opening in Portland. It was a last-minute thing, she said, but a great opportunity to showcase her work to a new audience. She'd be gone for 2 nights. I offered to go with her, but she quickly declined. She said she needed to focus on networking, on making connections. My presence would only distract her. I felt a pang of disappointment, but I understood. Her art was her career, her livelihood. I didn't want to hold her back. After she left, the apartment felt eerily silent. I tried to distract myself with work, but my mind kept drifting back to that text message, to Willow's increasingly secretive behavior. That's when I decided to do something I never thought I was capable of. I decided to snoop. I know it was wrong, a violation of her privacy, but I couldn't live with the uncertainty any longer. I waited until late at night when I was sure she was asleep. Then I crept into her studio. The lock was a simple one, easily picked with a bobby pin I found in her purse. The studio was dimly lit, illuminated by a single desk lamp. Sculptures in various stages of completion littered the room. Clay dust hung in the air, thick and suffocating. It smelled like Willow, like home. I started with her desk. I rifled through her papers, her sketches, her bills. Nothing, just the usual artist clutter. Then I saw it. A small leather-bound journal tucked away in a drawer. It was locked, but the lock was flimsy. I forced it open. The journal was filled with Willow's handwriting. At first it was just notes about her art, sketches of her sculptures, ideas for new projects. But then I started reading about someone else, a man named Jasper. He was described as charming, witty, intelligent. He appreciated her art, her soul. He made her feel alive, desired. My blood ran cold. I kept reading, my hands shaking. The entries became increasingly intimate, detailing secret meetings, stolen kisses, and nights spent together. Jasper was her art dealer, the one who had supposedly organized the gallery opening in Portland. The gallery opening that she had gone to alone. The truth hit me like a physical blow. Willow was having an affair with Jasper. My wife, the woman I had loved and trusted for 15 years, was betraying me. I sank into a chair, the journal falling from my numb fingers. The room spun around me. I felt sick, nauseous. My world was crumbling around me. I spent the rest of the night in a daze, replaying the past few months in my mind, searching for clues I had missed, for signs I had ignored. It all made sense now. The late nights in the studio, the secretive phone calls, the sudden trips out of town. The next morning, Willow returned from Portland. She seemed tired but happy. She hugged me tightly, telling me about the gallery opening, about the people she had met, about the potential opportunities for her art. I stared at her, my heart aching. How could she lie to me so easily? How could she pretend that everything was normal? I didn't say anything. I couldn't. I was too hurt, too angry, too confused. I spent the next few days in a state of silent rage. I went to work, I ate, I slept, but I was just going through the motions. Inside, I was screaming. I knew I had to confront Willow, but I didn't know how. I wanted to scream at her, to accuse her, to demand answers. But I also wanted to understand. Why had she done this? What had gone wrong? Finally, I decided to wait. I needed to gather my thoughts to prepare myself for the inevitable showdown. One evening, I came home from work to find Willow waiting for me. She looked pale, anxious. She told me she needed to talk to me. I knew what was coming. We sat down on the couch, facing each other. The silence was thick, heavy with unspoken words. "Tobias," she began, her voice trembling, "I have something to tell you." I braced myself. "I've been seeing someone else," she confessed, her eyes filled with tears. I nodded, my heart sinking. "I know," I said, my voice flat. She looked surprised. "You know," I told her about the journal, about the text message, about everything I had discovered. She started to cry, sobbing uncontrollably. She apologized, begged for forgiveness. She said she didn't mean to hurt me, that it just happened. I listened, my face expressionless. I didn't feel anything, just numb. She told me about Jasper, about how he made her feel special, appreciated. She said I had been neglecting her, that I was too focused on my work, that I didn't understand her art. I wanted to argue, to defend myself, but I knew it was pointless. "The damage was done. I'm leaving you, Tobias," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "I am going to be with Jasper." I nodded again. "Okay," I said. She packed her bags that night and left. Just like that, 15 years of marriage were over. I was alone. In the apartment we had shared, surrounded by memories of a life that no longer existed. In the days and weeks that followed, I went through all the stages of grief: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally acceptance. I realized that Willow and I had grown apart. We had different needs, different desires. We were no longer compatible. The affair was just a symptom of a deeper problem. I also realized that I deserved better. I deserved to be with someone who loved me, who respected me, who was loyal to me. I filed for divorce. It was a painful process, but necessary. I sold the apartment and moved to a smaller place downtown. I started taking art classes, something I had always wanted to do. I reconnected with old friends. I started living my life again. One day, I ran into a mutual friend, Bronwyn, who told me that Willow and Jasper's relationship had fallen apart. Jasper had left Willow for another woman, a wealthy collector who could buy his art. Willow was devastated. She had lost everything: her husband, her lover, her reputation. Bronwyn asked me if I felt any satisfaction, any sense of revenge. I thought about it for a moment. Then I shook my head. "No," I said. "I just feel sad for her." I had moved on. I had healed. I had found peace. The rain still falls in Seattle, but it doesn't bother me anymore. I know that even the darkest storms eventually pass, and that sometimes the most painful endings can lead to the most beautiful beginnings. I am not sure if I will ever love someone again, but I know that I will never forget what happened and that I am stronger now.